Chapter 19. The hut owner Mark tells temple abominations. The hut owner, named Mark, had a lot to tell us about the Pharisees and would-be scribes. Among other things, he told much about the temple clerics' secret cruelties and how they become irreconcilable, mortal enemies of anyone they suspect of any trace of a spiritual and hence prophetic vein. Many of such spiritual persons are supposed to be bumped off. They are supposed to have most amiable invitations extended to them, doing them much honouring, smothering them with friendship. But once within the temple's after-chambers, occupied by the chief Pharisees, they have finished with this world, as none sees daylight again. It is furthermore inexplicable, said Mark, how God can watch such abominations for so long. Things were wicked in Sodom and Gomorrah indeed, but compared to what goes on in Jerusalem now, it is by hardly that of a raindrop to the sea. And yet, in spite of Abraham's repeated intercessory prayers, God caused these and their satellite cities to perish with fire from heaven. Now, however, in the face of these masses of abominations of every conceivable variety, committed in Jerusalem day after day, God acts as if he didn't know and no longer cared about humanity. What possible reason could there be for this? To this fairly astute comment, I said, "Friend, God is aware of everything occurring. He knows all the Pharisees and scribes' numberless and nameless abominations. For this indeed I came into the world, that this brood of serpents and vipers would act out their full measure upon myself. And when this is accomplished, then let that evil brood beware." Says Mark, "Indeed, Lord, Master, and friendliest benefactor of mankind, if you at the same time do not possess the power to blow with one breath thousands of people into the beyond, then you are to be pitied should you ever intend to show up in Jerusalem working wonders. I am surely a most plain person, yet understand things that no Pharisee has yet dreamt of. But I am at the same time smart enough with the Pharisees, whom I encounter often, to play such stupid moron that I leave them no trace for suspecting me of any arcane knowledge. Since they have now known me for quite some time as an exceptional fool, and assume that I know not the difference between a face and a rear, they often let me look into their blackest secrets. And there I have hit upon things which I must admit, on several occasions made me question God's very existence. For I mused, if there is an almighty, supremely wise, righteous, and benevolent God, and he cares for mankind the way Scripture teaches, then it must be impossible to watch such abominations. There is no God. Man is physically descended from the ape, according to Plato, and his soul a descendant of the rapacious beast. Therefore, there has to be at the head of a strong community a strong and wise Samson, who shall have the double animal of the compounded animal called man, taming him into at least a half-man over the fears. With such and often worse thoughts my mind had grappled whenever coming across the hideous secret doings of this brood of serpents, as aptly named by you. Wherefore, as said, if you want to be bumped off this world in a most hideous and painful manner, then by all means to Jerusalem. You shall find that I told you the fullest truth, without necessarily being a prophet. To show you such a small arcanum, which however exceeds that of the holy temple dung tale 1,000-fold, I will briefly tell you what I experienced only recently. Whoever gave this black brood such supra-satanic idea I don't know. It wouldn't have been Satan for sure, as his malice would not suffice.